Good morning, everyone. There's evidence that COVID cases are ticking up across the country, fueled by end of summer gatherings and travel. While experts say there's no reason to panic, the test positivity rate has shot up since June after steadily declined since the beginning of the year. Errol Barnett has more on what you need to know about new booster shots expected this fall.
As many enter the last few weeks of a social summer season, it's clear one thing didn't take a break: COVID. And with fall fast approaching, many are wondering if and when they should get their booster shots.
Everyone will likely meet the criteria to get the new booster.
CBS News spoke with Dr. Bernard Kamens, who's the medical director for infection prevention at Mount Sinai. He says the next generation of boosters will target more recent coronavirus variants, which is especially important for people over 60 and those with chronic illness.
For people considering a COVID shot, do you recommend they wait?
Yes, I do think that the best thing to do is to wait until the new booster is available.
The CDC says those boosters won't be available until early fall, which is the same time people should get annual flu shots.
What's the best advice for people who are considering these shots and wondering if they can get them together?
There's actually no reason to think that you cannot take these shots together.
Now, health officials say it's crucial we all remember hygiene lessons underscored during the height of the pandemic: hand washing, covering your cough, and staying at home when sick, as well as avoiding crowded indoor activities. Errol Barnett, CBS News, New York.
Man's best friend may be better at detecting COVID-19 than some of the current technology we use. Bradley Blackburn has more now on how dogs are sniffing out infections.
They are our companions and best friends, and now a growing number of studies show dogs have the power to detect the COVID-19 virus.
One of the investigators from Colombia came out and said that RT-PCR is no longer the gold standard. It's the dog.
Researchers at UC Santa Barbara and colleagues reviewed dozens of studies from around the world. They say the findings demonstrate trained COVID-19 scent dogs are as effective or more effective than PCR tests, as well as at-home antigen tests. The dogs can detect the virus faster and in patients positive for infection but not showing symptoms yet, as well as patients who do not develop symptoms later, which could help stop the spread of the virus.
The diseases increase when they're in a population, basically exponentially. So the longer the wait is between your test and your result, that's a latent period. During that time, you're running around spreading COVID and you don't know it. The dogs with a direct sniff will be done in seconds.
In some of the studies, trained dogs give a person a quick sniff, then sit down to signal the presence of COVID. In other cases, dogs are given sweat samples to smell. Researchers say the trained scent dogs can also differentiate COVID-19 from other respiratory virus infections, which could revolutionize the medical industry. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
And another benefit to the trained dogs is that they can quickly detect the virus in a non-intrusive way and without the impact on the environment of single-use plastic swabs. So it is a sign of the times. People are opting to text or email instead of making phone calls, but now research shows it's causing an issue for some who are developing fears of the phone. John Diaz explains what generation is suffering from the worst phone phobia.
It's becoming a more antiquated form of
110%.
communication with each passing year. Talking on the phone, and research shows the main antagonists are Gen Zs.
I don't like it that much. It's not, I'd rather just text.
It's so easy to just text someone quickly, or it's much more private than having conversation out loud.
These two teenagers are good friends who hang out all the time, but admit. How often do you guys actually call one another?
Never. Never. Yeah, we don't ever call.
So what do you guys do, text?
Well, yeah, we text.
Experts insist the shrinking number of voice-to-voice phone conversations is now leading to worries for teens and young adults. Research out of Australia shows 90% of Gen Zs are anxious about speaking on the phone. And some say an awkward phone call is one of the top 3 things they'd want to avoid in life This 23-year-old knows it to be true.
I do get a little bit anxious. It's a lot of effort to like pick up the phone and have to talk all the time.
With landlines becoming obsolete and younger generations getting their own cell phones earlier in life, experts say kids aren't learning the proper phone skills. Your teenager may have a harder time.
It turns out that talking on the phone is a skill. And for decades, we didn't recognize that because we all did it.
Mary Jane Coops was given the nickname the Phone Lady and has coached more than 15,000 workers on how to communicate properly.
Do you think moving forward it's going to get better or worse?
In terms of the anxiety, I do see that increasing. But at the same time, I see business shifting.
She says while phone conversations are becoming less prevalent in the workplace, everyone should still know how to speak on the phone. She even suggests how you can practice.
Cut out pictures from magazines of a smiling man and a smiling woman and look at that while you're on the phone so that you feel more comfortable with how the other person is receiving your conversation.
And as the saying goes, practice makes perfect. John Diaz, CBS 2 News.
Experts also say hearing someone's voice on the phone helps to develop trust and a better relationship. All right, so what's old is becoming new again in one industry. The restaurant business can be challenging, but one New York restaurant says business is booming after they revived an old idea. Michael George shows us how the automat may be making a comeback.
A visit to the Brooklyn dumpling shop might be confusing. There's no cashier, no wait staff. You'll find menu items in these little heated lockers, a reboot of a 100-year-old concept called an automat.
Technology killed the automat. It's time for technology to bring back the automat.
Automats started in the early 1900s and looked something like a giant vending machine. Customers put in coins to pull out their selection, but the automat's popularity faded, and eventually they shut down. Brooklyn dumpling shop co-founder Stratus Morfogen says this modern automat has some updates. First, customers use their phones to order. The food is cooked, then it goes into the locker. A text alert tells customers their order is ready for pickup using a code.
Scan your phone.
Scan it right there.
Yep, it'll tell you which locker to go to.
And then
it's
the door
number
opens.
6.
What are the advantages of this system?
We're respecting your time. So if you go to our web, place an order, pick a time, you could come in and out in 10 seconds.
The concept has customer appeal.
I like to run late, so they keep it warm and hot for me. That'd be perfect.
I think it's amazing, and I think it's really something for the future.
Morfogen says with just 3 employees, they can serve 200 to 300 customers a day.
I believe this will save our industry. When we get like the TikTok generation of the 15 to 30-year-olds, they come in and they're super comfortable with this concept because they live off their phone.
They've invested in this idea from the past being the future of restaurants. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
And a few other companies, restaurants have tried to bring back automats over the last 10 years with limited success. All right, coming up, a toast to a wine country. We'll show you where and when Good Morning returns. All right, welcome back. Climate change has been blamed for wildfires, droughts, and massive flooding, but it's also creating new opportunities for winemakers. As Ian Lee reports, your next glass could come from an unexpected place.
Rows and rows of vines can conjure images of Europe's famous wine regions. But this is Sweden. These two French winemakers moved to the Scandinavian country to uncork its potential. She says the weather is more stable and predictable, unlike France, which has long hot periods with no rain and big hailstorms.
We want that this house and this production is going to be for the future.
Felix Arberg sees potential to put Sweden on the winemaking map. With warmer and longer growing seasons and none of the extreme weather, new varieties of grapes round out the country's sprouting industry.
So one of the best vintages for Champagne the last 100 years was 1996. And from a climate perspective, that would be 2021 in Sweden. So it's really going our way.
As drought and rising heat forced traditional wine-growing regions like France, Italy, and Spain to reassess their methods, Sweden is toasting its success.
And this is the frontier.
A frontier exploring a whole new territory in the world of wine. Ian Lee, CBS News.
And Sweden isn't likely to challenge the big wine-making countries anytime soon, as its vineyards cover around 350 acres compared to more than 2 million acres in Spain alone. All right, stay with us. When we come back, we are keeping up with Keely. Mid-morning returns in a moment. All right, welcome back, everyone. We are keeping up with Keely, and really what that means every time you're here, well, not every time, but sometimes when Keely is here, it means talking me into do things that are way outside of my box. We're talking lashes this morning.
Talking lashes, my favorite part of my makeup routine.
Really?
If I didn't have my lashes, I don't know where I'd be. I have worn lashes since I was probably in 7th grade.
So it really is a trend. I will say growing up in starting to wear makeup, so you just wanted to do eyeliner and some lip gloss, but now I see teenagers, even preteens, wearing eyelashes. So what is the draw for eyelashes?
I think eyelashes just one that's the first thing you see on someone's face is their eyes and their smiles. But most people may be insecure to smile, so face is and your eyes are the big target.
All right.
And lashes are so easy to do and they're very accessible.
And they're affordable too.
Yes, there are so many different ways you can do lashes. Here today, we are doing the strip lashes.
And you can go to a salon and get them professionally done, and they like thread them and all
they
that.
stay for like up to 2 to 3 weeks. And so people like doing lashes that way because they're like, I don't have to do anything in my makeup routine.
Okay.
Personally, it can add up if you're doing that and your nails. So this is why Keely does the strip lashes.
All right, so strip lashes. I have never ever worn fake eyelashes.
This is going to be interesting.
I just wear my handy dandy. I thicken up and lengthen with my mascara. So I'm going to you've taught me into it. So let's do it. All right.
So one thing, Aundrea does have her mascara. One thing with me is I do not wear mascara because you cannot tell.
Okay.
So we have your mascara. So first we're going to pick out our lashes.
Okay.
We
you
have
can get this at any drugstore or any place.
drugstore. I like to get these, and you have your wispy ones. So after that, we're going to trim our lash, which we already trimmed yours. So get you some little tiny scissors.
All right.
And my rule of thumb is when you're trimming your lashes, just have your lash with your tweezer, hold it up in the mirror, and then kind of see how much you might need to cut off. I usually do 2 on the end and then 1 on the corner, so 3 in total. So the hard part is holding your lash because you get so nervous.
So am I doing it right? So you've already done mine. I'm only going to do one eye.
Okay.
And if I don't like it, it's not
That is fine. No, we can
will
take
not
it
last
right
the
off.
rest of the day.
Okay, so make sure our tweezer is just below the little strip.
Oh, goodness. Look at that. You
Yes,
know,
perfect. Okay. So now we're going to put the glue on it. Just relax.
There's glue involved in this?
Yes, there is glue. We're going to and luckily we have a little brush glue.
Do I need to continue to hold this?
Yes, we're just going to hold it the whole time.
Might I
it's like a little chopstick.
We have an intern here. It's his first day. He's seeing journalism at its very finest this morning.
So always make sure we put enough glue on there, but we don't want to do too much.
All right.
You can have clear glue. I'm going to just put a little more.
I'm so scared. I'm going to let you put this on, okay? So you said this has to dry a little?
Yes, you just have to do it like just a few seconds to let it get tacky.
Okay.
As scary as that sounds. And there is like different colored glues. You can get clear or black. I get clear because...
Do I need to blow on it?
Yes, I do a little bit. If we had black glue, I'm not kidding, we would have glue up to our eyebrows.
Okay.
We're just going to let this get tacky for a second.
I'm going to let you put this on me. How about that'll go faster
that
because we're
better.
running out of time and I'm not. I want to make sure I get it on
there.
there.
So the main thing is I'm going to just press your face.
Oh my gosh. This is worse than the dentist.
And we're going to lightly put them on there. After the middle one is on, we're going to do our corners and let it hold. Our glue was a little wet still.
I'm scared.
Okay, it's on.
My husband's going to say first braids, now lashes.
Just open.
Oh my gosh.
Look how much more dramatic
really can tell the difference. Oh my gosh.
It looks great.
So can you all see this?
Look,
you can tell the difference, like my right
just
eye.
defined. Your eyes
really
are so much bigger and
I wonder
brighter.
how our producer feels about me wearing lashes. What is she saying?
I think it's the new trend.
I mean, my gosh.
So now you can keep this on all day and take them off at night and rewear them in the morning.
Lashes with Keely.
Lashes with Keely.
Again, like we said, you can go to a salon and get this professionally done, but I sort of, I'm open to this for sort of a special occasion, getting dressed up. You want to make something pop a little bit more. I think I can do this.
For special occasions, for sure. It just makes everything a little more dramatic.
Or I'll have you come to my house and do it for me.
I can. I'll be on call. Don't
Always
worry.
love having you here, Keely. Can I see with these now? Can I read the prompter? All right, coming up, tips for traveling alone. We'll have that coming up next on Mid Morning. All right, welcome back, everyone. Airlines are recovering after a historic tropical storm hit the West Coast and forced the cancellation of thousands of flights. The impact is still being felt as the cancellations created a ripple effect across the country. Jen Sullivan has a look at the airport impacted the most and what you can do if your flight is ever canceled because of weather.
An historic West Coast storm impacting travel on the ground, where streets turned into raging rivers, and in the air, where heavy rain and strong winds impacted thousands of flights.
There's always going to be some amount of cancellations that happen as long as we have bad weather.
At the height of the storm on Sunday, more than 1,000 U.S. flights were canceled, and about 5,700 flights were delayed, according to the tracking website FlightAware. Frontier and Southwest were among the airlines most impacted. Frontier suspended its flights at Ontario International Airport. That's in San Bernardino County, about 40 miles east of Los Angeles, and flights won't resume there until Tuesday. Southwest also briefly suspending all flights at Ontario before resuming operations Monday morning. But those flight disruptions created a ripple effect across the country. As of Monday afternoon, nearly 190 Southwest flights in the U.S. were canceled.
There's no amount of preparation that's going to make it safe to take off or land in the middle of a thunderstorm.
So what happens if your flight is canceled due to weather? Travel experts say airlines generally rebook travelers on the next available flight for no additional fee. And if you choose not to rebook, you're entitled to a full refund.
Even if it was a storm, the federal government guarantees you the right to cancel your entire trip and get your money back if the airline cancels your flight.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
So there's a new website that wants to make women feel safer when traveling alone or visiting a country that they're not familiar with. It's called Greet Her, and it pairs female travelers with female tour guides. Christine Lazar shows us how it works.
Jen Emery got bitten by the travel bug early, but traveling alone as a woman does come with risks.
At nighttime, you get a little nervous if you want to go out or if you're at a museum too long and night starts to fall, like getting back to your hotel room or maybe even streets that you don't know that maybe you shouldn't go down versus others. Those are things that even on my 50th country still go through my head.
It's those feelings that prompted Vanessa Corral, an avid traveler herself, to create the website Greet Her.
I just was tired of people telling me, don't go to Egypt because as a woman, you shouldn't go alone. Don't go to Guatemala because it's unsafe.
Greet Her matches female travelers with female tour guides.
And we do this by vetting everybody, including you as a traveler.
Jen Emery hired a tour guide through Greet Her for her trips to Chile and Amsterdam. Users can hire their greeter for an entire day or just a few hours. That female local guide will not only show the traveler what her city has to offer, she will share safety tips from which streets and neighborhoods can be dangerous to how to use public transportation safely. They are currently in 90 countries and 550 cities. What you'll pay depends on the city you're visiting. 2.5 hours with a greeter in San Francisco will cost you around $75, whereas the same amount of time in Mexico will cost you $55. Christine Lazar, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And stay with us. We'll be right back to wrap things up. All right, be sure you stay connected with us. And just so you know, the eyelash did not last for the rest of this show. We'll see you back here next time. Have a great day.